We all need shelter, foodstuffs, and a roof over our heads. But there's something else we need to ease the pain of our excruciating and pointless existence. It's an activity, it's an industry, and it's a necessity. It's entertainment. The Bucket Fountain in Wellington's Cuba Mall has provided kinetic entertainment for over 30 years.
But the Wellington newspapers most recently have been filled with the vandalism that this new watermobile has been subjected to. Oh, all sorts of detergents have been put in it, all sorts of dyes. The innards have been gummed up. For a long time it couldn't work because of this sort of thing.
But it wasn't until a pint-sized American movie star urinated into it that it achieved worldwide fame.
Pardon? Have I ever pissed in the Cuba Street fountain?
Have I ever?
Urinated where?
No.
No.
Well, it was more dribble.
I'm sorry, but it's a futile question to ask a woman. You'd have to actually hoist yourself up and get in.
There's a group from Israel came over and they said, oh, is that where the hobbits peed? I said, oh, yeah. And they got their hip flask and they dipped it in. They drank it.
Well, what an interesting question, because I haven't actually been in Cuba Street in 30 years until 2 days ago, and I walked up there. What a disgraceful sight.
America has its Hollywood, England its Pinewood, China Wood. But here in New Zealand we have a place called Avalon, a factory of dreams set in the splendour of the Hutt Valley. It was here that TV1 was launched, with the help of the TVNZ Jazz Orchestra, a cast of several, and of course, Google.
They make a magnificent sound. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very welcome. Television One is here at last.
News of the arrival of TV1 soon spread throughout the free world.
Greetings, Television One. From London, Thames Television wishes New Zealand's Television One a bright, entertaining future.
This is Mary Tyler Moore. We've enjoyed being part of your New Zealand family in the past and are delighted to learn of the expansion.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to take this opportunity of saying how happy I am to be here with you in New Zealand.
Hello. I'm William Conrad, Cannon. It's been a great thrill to see how popular that Cannon has been in New Zealand.
I hope you'll continue to watch us each week on your new television network.
So TV1 has my encouragement and my support. I wish them well.
And as they say down our way, ta-ra for now.
The great singer, Roger Whittaker, even appeared disguised as a cameraman.
I know about one or two of the programs that are coming on TV1 as well. One of them interests me very much. It's a folk music program about the good old, bad old days of New Zealand. And the music's authentic, and it's set where it really happened. You're going to have fun watching it on TV1.
And Roger was right. The opening night was an orgy of sea shanties and the then current national obsession, weightlifting.
Steady, steady. Down. That's a good lift.
The output from Avalon was stupendous.
We go all over the country having all sorts of different adventures.
Neville Purvis!
It's me, all right. Living proof that anyone can be a TV star.
I'll
I've got a red-hot tip for Saturday. When it comes in, I'll take you to Melbourne as well. Oh, it's not him again.
And that's all we have in the news.
That was ridiculous. Yes, but I wonder whether she meant the weather, or whether they meant the weather that was with her.
Happy Christmas, Stu. Roger?
After creating magic in the studio, the stars would retire upstairs to the infamous Studio Club on level 2. One can only imagine that in its heady heyday, this was akin to a Studio 54, or even possibly Hitler's infamous bunker.
Avalon in the 70s. The glitz, the glamour. Was it like Studio 54?
No. No. Ian Fraser and Ian Johnston and Kevin Milne are not Truman Capote and Leonard Bernstein and Rudolf Nureyev.
By the time of the Avalon cleaners' strike of '81, the writing was on the wall as the power base of TV moved inexorably northwards.
That's our lot for today. I hope that you've enjoyed the programmes, and maybe we can look forward to your company at some time tomorrow. The time right now is midnight. So on behalf of all the folk at Television New Zealand, have a good day tomorrow. And from all of us, good night.
Go. That was a pretty good night. Didn't use anything go wrong, did we?
No, they had something with Tajikina earlier in the day, I think.
Yeah, it's just as well they got that fixed, and we would have been off.
Thanks very much, Paul. Good night.
Okay, see ya.
See ya. Good night, Ewan.
Today, much of the entertainment we consume is of a solitary nature. And sadly, most of it could hardly be considered family-friendly. Indeed, the 60s, 70s and 80s were quite literally a time of family entertainment, with entertainment performed by actual families.
Meet the Bonham family from Takapuna in Auckland. Pip, or rather Philip, is the youngest, aged 13. Peter is next, aged 15. Jack, their elder brother, aged 25. And lastly, father, aged, well...
There were the dancing half-sisters, who called themselves Memento. For 3 decades, musical families dominated our talent quests.
So, Mama, see the baby loves short and shortening. See the baby loves short and red.
Would you please welcome Mid-Canterbury's very own Tullet Family Bell Ringers.
I remember that family. My mum, she was really, she goes, oh, why couldn't we do that? I said, well, because we're not the Quasimodos, are we? Oh, we're the Farnare family, Mum. And we play rugby, and we watch Dad come home drunk and fall on the couch, and then we go pick him up. That's what we do. I mean, if they had a competition where whose dad come home drunk, fall on the floor, and be picked up by his 2 young sons and carried to his bed, yeah, sure, we're in with a chance. But no, we can't compete with the Bells.
But by the end of the century, family entertainment was but a distant memory.
Please be honest, some children can be a bit of trouble at school. Fair call? Yeah, they can be a bit of trouble. I mean, I'm guessing this. I mean, I was such a quiet kid at school, you know. I was, front of the class, your teacher's pet apple a day, that sort of stuff. Good on you, Jace, you're doing well. But one of our troop has let us down today. He's been a very naughty boy. Ooh. Ooh.
and ooh. Hello, goodbye.
New Zealand nightlife has long been a concept that resembles a slow, agonising death.
Good evening. Welcome to Burgundy. I'm Debbie Jordan presenting to you Showtime.
For many years, going out for a good time in the big city was to enter hell. You could pay to endure the relentless vaudeville muggings of the legendary Debbie Dorday.
I'm tired of being admired.
For no charge, there was this ginger flautist.
I'm a busker, basically because I really enjoy playing on the street. I really enjoy the reaction I get from people, and I really think it adds to the life of Queen Street.
You could always see some tit, or make one of yourself.
I don't want to be naive, but what do you do with the shaving cream?
You don't really want us to tell you that.
Shaving cream out. Someone come with a muffin.
Each month for 4 long years, our tripe and onions you've been cooking.
Tripe and Onions clubs were inexplicably popular.
As scrumptious as it is good looking.
Fun was conformist, even totalitarian. So where did that leave the individual?
I just drive up and down Queen Street. Just generally just looking at all the women going past and everything else. Shut up.
Things were so bad that there was a vogue for expressive dance. Our pent-up zest for life found release in the spectacle of transvestitism. You could go to screenings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and do the time warp again and again and again. Alfie's nightclub also provided sweet transvestites in the days before breast augmentation had been perfected. But the nadir was a night out watching Diamond Lil. Female impersonator Marcus Craig's onstage duet with Howard Morrison has been voted the most excruciating performance in New Zealand live entertainment history.
Come back! Kiroto, come back! Come back hands! Come on, back hands! Come back hands! Not that far back. Oh. Come back hands! That's bloody Hawaiian, you fool!
But, as always, the best fun was illicit, as confirmed by Society Queen and serving wench, the magnificent Judith Baragwanath.
New Zealanders they make their own fun. I think it's the only way to go, for Christ's sake. And I, for one, could have a party in a paper bag. 2, in case one burns.
Paper bags were all very well, but the people cried out for more. This 1973 report, filed by the gorgeous Dania Shanahan, revealed we had to break the law to have fun.
When Clement Freud visited this country recently, he likened it to a dimly lit cemetery, but he probably just didn't know where it was all happening. because behind closed doors throughout the country, the nightlife is booming. Clubs are becoming part of a way of life for thousands of New Zealanders. A discreet knock at the door, sign the book, show your card, and you can drink and dance all night. But the drink that you'll drink in one of these illegal clubs could in fact cost you a prosecution. That drink's illegal. Do you think you should be allowed to drink here?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I'm a photographer. I work in nightclubs in town. I see overseas visitors coming to the nightclubs after 10 o'clock, asking if they can buy a drink. When we say that you can't buy a drink anywhere in New Zealand after 10 o'clock, they think it's ridiculous. I think it's primitive.
Yeah, but you're just beating the law.
It was left to this pissed old fart with a superb high tuck to show us the future.
So you want to see the law changed?
Do I ever? So does the rest of New Zealand. And I tell you, if Norm has his way, it'll be changed. Don't worry about it.
Well, since the police told you about this locker system, you haven't been raided by the police. They've left you alone.
That's dead right. For the last 18 months. Because they know we run a good club, all right? They know we're doing what the people want. But they can't change the laws. They're public servants. It's Parliament's got to change the laws, all right? And this is going to happen. It has to happen.
But, as we'll soon see, entertainment isn't always so entertaining.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Face the Public.
Politics has long been a rich source of inspiration for our entertainers.
Tonight's guest is...
And although satire has been scarce, we've never suffered from a shortage of impersonators.
Do have a very good Christmas, turkeys. I call you turkeys because, after all, I've stuffed a lot of you.
While David McPhail was our most prolific TV impersonator, Danny Fay was the king of radio.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. We'll do it my way.
Well, I was introduced to Sir Robert down in Wellington, and he hadn't met me before. I believe he'd heard me on the radio. I said, oh, yes. He said, you're the bloke. He said, oh, yes, you got me into a lot of trouble. And I had a T-shirt on with a cartoon character head of Sir Robert on. And the person that I was with unzipped my jacket, and out comes this great big fat cartoon head of Sir Robert on this sort of radio station T-shirt. And he was quite good about it because he said, oh, yes, they sent me one of those, but they sent me a small men's and I couldn't get it over my guts.
You must have been a little bit concerned when he lost the elections, though.
Oh, well, I was a little bit concerned because I didn't think that I was going to be able to do this fella here. And I was walking around the house and sort of practicing and driving everyone mad. And then suddenly it sort of dawned, this is the way he talks. He stresses every word. He stresses a lot of syllables. He uses colourful phrases.
Have some wine, Mr. Lang.
This is outrageous.
Oh, it's South African wine.
Yeah, but this is pure hypocrisy.
Oh, it's pure Wiedeberg, 82, if I'm not mistaken.
Over here, you got Russ Muldoon. Mr. Muldoon, you know?
Best known for his portrayal of Con the Fruiterer, Australian Mark Mitchell crossed the ditch to play David Longy in Fallout.
David, you've got some visitors.
Goodness for that. Hey, good day.
G'day. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah, love one, thanks.
A lot of New Zealanders want to see Anzus remain intact. Maybe only symbolic, but it's symbolism many New Zealanders endorse.
That's for the Greens. That should shut them up.
And while politicians pretend to laugh off these facsimiles, deep down, there's no doubt that they hate the pricks.
600 fewer big, hunky men in uniform.
In fact, Jenny Shipley could barely contain herself.
Look, I think she's absolutely terrific. She needs to grow a foot, and thank God for cameras that can show that, you know, I am, or they don't show. They don't disclose the fact that she's a shorter, dumpier version.
But it wasn't just the politicians feeling the pain.
G'day, Billy the Kid Ralston, artificially assembled here in the studio with a few of my mates. Now, you know the rules of the Ralston grope. I stroke hers, she pats mine, and then we all pull Trevor's.
So, does it upset you when you see stuff like that?
Nah, not really. Not really.
Honestly.
Nope.
Oh, that's crap, Dick.
You take the rice bubbles and glue them to his face. Look, if you're in the public eye, people are going to take the piss out of you.
Indeed, Ralston made his name taking the piss out of this man.
You're
nightliners.
He'd pick up accents. And so he'd meet a world leader like the French Prime Minister Rocard, who came out here. And he'd call him Monsieur Rocard, and then speak, hello and welcome to New Zealand. And you go, no.
You have about half an hour in which we can spare to try and answer your questions.
So anyway, we started doing things like Jim Bolger's, amazing linguistic ability, like when he met the American ambassador. Hello, Mr. Ambassador, good to meet you here.
Thank you, Ambassador. Ambassador Della Newman.
Then there was the flair for Turkish with President what's-his-name?
But I will leave it to the President, if you would like now, sir, to make some comments to the journalists.
I never got to film him meeting the Dalai Lama when he went, very nice to meet you.
It's clear that over the years our attitude to entertainment has changed. No longer are we happy to simply sit passively and partake of stage and screen shenanigans from the comfort of our armchairs. It's a sign of the times that from karaoke fantasies to electronic ego media like MySpace and Facebook,
It's now the average audience member who's the star in the story of their own life.
in this our Aotearoa land of entertainment.
Jackal is black and blood is red. Whose is white? The sheets on a bed.
It is I, Count Unauthorised.
And who's that rattling in the dark, making all the watchdogs bark?
It is I, Count Unauthorised.
Who is it? Cries heartbroken when he spent his last milk token.
It is I, Count Unauthorised.